Okay, so my name is Holly Mulligan. This is my presentation on Mulligan Fish Farms. This first slide is actually the logo that I created for this theoretical business. On the front, I have a tiger trout, and it's contrasting with the pink background there. Um, Pink is associated with trout a lot, so I thought this was a good color. Not only that, but it really contrasts with the green in the background. So what is Mulligan Fish Farm? It's a trout farm providing quality fish for the community. We really want to focus on giving back. One of the most energy sustaining food sources is actually fish. For every 1 pound of food that they consume, they can gain 1 pound in body weight as well, opposed to larger livestock animals such as cows and pigs, where they have to eat about 50, 100 pounds to be able to gain 1 pound of body weight. So this is an excellent food source for people to have a lot of energy that can be used towards something else. So we will be raising 3 different types of trout in this fish farm. We have brook, brown, and tiger trout. I'll go in a little bit more detail about those 3 species later on in the presentation. We'll have 17 tanks total. 5 of them will be 200-gallon round tanks. This will be for smaller sized trout such as fry. They don't need as much room, and you can pack them a little bit more densely into these tanks. And then we will also have 12 2,000-gallon round tanks. This will be for the larger sized trout and the grow out trout who are going to put most of their energy towards growing. Uh, the farm will be in the lower Adirondack region. This location in particular was chosen because there are a lot of access to cold water streams and cool groundwater. These are very cold water species, so not having to pay for things such as chillers and things like that, using energy towards those, we could get them right from our surroundings. So a little bit about trout farming itself. Trout are ranked 16th globally about the produced fish in aquaculture. They are in the family Salmonidae. Salmonids in particular are ranked a little bit higher, so it depends on how you want to look at that. Fish farming is increasing worldwide to accommodate the decline of wild species. So there's a lot of overfishing happening within marine and freshwater species. So by raising these species within a recirculating system that isn't going to affect the wild population is going to help the wild populations come back. People can enjoy sport fishing again in those native species. Um, These fish will be sold for stocking, they will be sold for food, and also educational purposes such as classrooms and things like that. So some of our company objectives: we want to be the #1 trout supplier in the county, produce high yield with large trout, so the least amount of mortality as possible, and being able to raise those trout as large as they can get. People really like large fish. We also would like to work towards a high demand and a specialized product. We want people to know these fish came from Mulligan Fish Farms. Our mission is to aim to be the main provider for the region, to be able to stock this popular sport fish into water systems and private land while raising money to support the growth of the hatchery. A little bit more about fish farming in New York. Fish farming in New York, cold water species, has some difficulties going along with it. We have warm summers. These are cold water species, so that water is going to heat up. So when the weather is warm, there's going to have to be money spent towards chilling that water. Also, this is a fairly new farming technique, so the technology is still very expensive. We have to buy alarms, nets, filtration systems. We have to pay for the water and the heat used, the air used, the energy used, the tanks that we need to purchase, as well as many other things. With that being said, money is set aside for laboratory testing for the fish, medication for the fish, other emergencies. If there are technology or equipment malfunctions, that money will be set aside for those. So getting into the three species that we'll be working with, we have three, as I said. The first one is Salvelinus fontinalis, or the brook trout. It's native to the New York area, the northeast United States. All three are sport fish. Brook trout in particular can grow up to 16 inches. Salma trutta is the brown trout. It's native to New York or to Europe, and it was introduced to New York as a sport fish. Again, this species grows a little bit bigger than the brook trout, which is why people like it. It can grow up to about 20 inches. And then a hybrid between the brook trout and the brown trout is our tiger trout. This species is actually sterile in the wild. They cannot reproduce in the wild, which is why we'll be introducing these species from the DEC, so they were already be fertilized and everything. A little bit about pricing to wrap things up. Average price per pound for a whole fish for each of these species. A brook trout is going to be $3.15, brown being $3.38, and tiger trout is going to be $4, and this is for food consumption. Thank you for watching my presentation on Mulligan Fish Farms. I hope you enjoyed.